first off on this one, it says multiply mentally. Some of y'all should be able to look at this and figure out what it's supposed to be, but we're going to go ahead and do the box and go through these. First off, it's a binomial times a binomial, means 2 by 2. So the box that I'm going to use is going to be a 2 by 2. So you should have put C plus 3 times C minus 5. Now some people say, well, is a C the same as an X? It means the exact same thing. Doesn't matter which letter you use. So right here, C times C, you should have C squared. C times negative 5, negative 5C. 3 times C, 3C. 3 times negative 5, negative 15. Put your C's together. Those are your like terms right here. Your answer is C squared, then negative 5 plus 3, negative 2C, minus 15. Do the next one. Pause the video and come back and see how you do. On number 2. Again, a binomial times a binomial. So I'll draw my box. And I have D minus 2, D plus 9. In this box right here, D times D, same as X times X, is D squared. In this box, D times 9, 9D. Negative 2 times D, negative 2D. Negative 2 times 8, times 9, negative 18. Put your D's together. These are the like terms. Remember, this is like a plus sign in here, reminding you to add it. So my answer, my trinomial, will be D squared. 9 minus 2 is 7, plus 7D minus 18. The plus 7 came from 9 minus 2. Number 3. Right here, a binomial times a binomial. Again, it doesn't matter what letter they're using. I've got E minus 4 times E minus 7. Do that now. On this one again, E times E is the same as X times X. E squared, E times negative 7, negative 7E. Negative 4 times E, negative 4E. Negative 4 times negative 7 is positive 28. These are the like terms. These two boxes, you put them together. E squared. Negative 7 and negative 4 is negative 11E. You add them together. Plus 28. Number 4. This is a special type of one. What is this called? It is called the difference of squares. What makes it the difference of squares is that they look the same, but one is plus and one is minus. So now I've got R minus 6 times R plus 6. R times R is R squared. R times 6 is 6R. Negative 6 times R, negative 6R. Negative 6 times 6, negative 36. Now what happens with the difference of squares is that these two boxes, they make 0. They go away because 6 minus 6 is 0. So I get R squared minus 36. That's my answer. Here's your next one. It says find the area of the entire rectangle. I'm going to add in there, I want you to also find the perimeter. Well, first off, to find the area, you need to multiply. So I'll take x times x, which is x squared, x times 5, 5x, 3 times x, 3x, 3 times 5 is 15. These two are going to go together. So my area is x squared plus 8x plus 15. Now, if I wanted to find the perimeter, I know that this side is x plus 3 and this side is x plus 5. A lot of people tell me that the answer is 2x plus 8. Is that right? No, it is not. What did they forget to do? Add up the other sides. This is supposed to be x plus 3 and x plus 5. So my perimeter, 1, 2, 3, 4, is 4x. And 5 and 5 is 10, 13, 16, plus 16. That should be my perimeter. Number 6. It says the length of the side of a square is 5x minus 3. What is the area of the square? Well, what's true about all squares? Their whats are the same. All the sides are the same. So that means that when I drew my square, this would be 5x minus 3, and this side would be 5x minus 3. When I want to find the area, remember area is length times width. So I'm just going to multiply these together. So I have 5x and 5 times 5x, 25x squared, 5x times negative 3, negative 15x, negative 3 times 5x, negative 15x, negative 3 times negative 3, positive 9. Put your x's together. I get 25x squared minus 30x plus 9. Now, find the perimeter now. Find the perimeter of this figure. You could do what I'm doing and add and label all your sides and then add them up. But is there another way we could find the perimeter of a square if all the sides are the same? Multiply it by 4, right? You could do 4 times 5x minus 3 because that's the same as adding them all up. See, because here I would get 20x minus 12. Well, 5, 10, 15, 20, 20x, negative 3, negative 3, negative 3, and negative 3 is negative 12. Oop, I forgot my x. There we go. That only works on a square where you can multiply it by 4 because all the sides are the same. Look at this one. It says find the volume of the solid below. How do you find volume of a rectangular prism? Volume should be big B times H. Big B is area of the base. The base is a rectangle. How do you find the area of a rectangle? It's length times width. So basically on the volume of this, it's length times width times height. Length times width times height. So first, I'm going to actually, all I'm doing is multiplying these all together. Let me multiply those two together. What is 6x times x? Should be 6x squared. Now I'm going to take 6x squared times 4x plus 1. 6x squared times 4x plus 1. 6x squared times 4x. 6 times 4 is 24. X squared times x. X to the third. 6x squared times 1 plus 6x squared. So your volume is 24 x to the third plus 6x squared. Here's the next one. Try and do this one. Okay, so here on number 8, like it says the Rock Prairie Talent Show had 300 tickets available. Adult tickets cost $2.50 and student tickets cost $1.50. If the student council needs to make $650, how many tickets do they need to sell? Write the system of equations only. Now, we're going to write the systems. I'm going to talk about what I saw on the benchmark, what I saw people mixing up and getting backwards. First off, I'm going to define my variables. I'm going to choose A to be the adult tickets. I don't have to just use A. Now, the other thing I like to do is put the dollar amounts with it. The adult tickets are $2.50. And the student tickets cost, all right, well, let's go S equals student tickets. I'll do that first. No big deal. Here we go. Is student tickets. And that is $1.50. So we have the adult and the student. Now it says that there are 300 tickets that were sold. So I've got the adult plus the student equals 300. The second thing you need to do, it says that they need to make $650. We're going to put the dollar amounts with it. First off, the adult tickets are $2.50 times the adult plus $1.50 times the student. That is $650. Now, I want to remind you that what happened on the benchmark was that I'm seeing people are not paying attention to these variables right here. And they'll have 250S plus 150A. You have to make sure that you have the dollar amounts with the correct variable. All right, let's look at number 9. Looking at number 9, it says graph and shade the solution heavily. I don't know why it says heavily. But right now, can we graph this the way it's written? No, you have to solve for y. Okay, so do that right now. Let's do that first. So on this one, we've got to try and get y by itself. See, I need that one by itself. So I need to move the 3x. It's a positive 3x. So I'm going to subtract 3x from each side. And it becomes negative y is less than negative 3x plus 4. Can we leave it like this? No, you cannot. It has a negative y. So that's like a negative 1. So I'm going to divide everything by negative 1. Ding, 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 ding. You have to flip the sign when you divide or multiply by a negative. So now it becomes y is greater than 3x minus 4. Now we've got to go and graph this line right here. So I'm going to start. Let's remember that this is the y-intercept. So I'm going to go down to negative 4 and put a dot. This number right here is the slope. I know that this number is positive, so my line is going to have to be increasing. It is 3 over 1. It tells me to go up 3 and to the right 1. So I'm going to start at the y-intercept and go up 1, 2, 3 to the right 1 and put a dot. Up 1, 2, 3 to the right 1, put a dot. And I'll keep going. Up 1, 2, 3 to the right 1. Up 1, 2, 3 to the right 1. Now I can go backwards and go down 3 to the left 1. Down 3 to the left 1. Now what type of line do I draw? A dashed or a solid? It is a dash. The only time you use solid is if it's equal to. Nothing on this line is in the solution set. Now I have to figure out which side to shade. It says greater than. So you're going to start at the y-intercept. Greater than. Oh, I didn't mean to press that hard. Here we go. Greater than, I'm going to go above. So you're going to shade everything that is above that line. And I started at my y-intercept and I went up, and that showed me which side to shade. Everything that is in the shaded area is a solution. The next one. It says, what is the measure of the third side of a triangle where the perimeter equals 8x plus 4y, and two of the sides measure x plus 2y and 3x plus y? So basically, if I drew a picture, sometimes it helps to draw a picture. One of the sides is x plus 2y. Another side is 3x minus y. Now the total perimeter is 8x plus 4y. How do I find this missing side? I want you to try and do that now. Try and find that missing side right now. Okay, so there's a couple different ways you can do this. The way I'm going to do it is I'm going to go and I'm going to add up the two sides that I have. So how many x's do I have? I have 4x and 2y minus 1y. This is a negative y. It is the same as a minus 1. It says plus y, so it's not negative. There we go. I just wrote it down wrong. Okay. So right here, 3x plus y. So sorry, here we go. 2y plus 1y is 3y. This is two of the sides. So now, to find the other one, we'll take and we'll subtract off the 4x and the 3y. So now, 8x minus 4x is 4x. 4y minus y is plus 1y. So that's your third side. Number 11. Write the solution to the equation. Now, a lot of people get messed up with the fraction. I need to go and I need to multiply each side by the reciprocal. That means to flip it over. So I flip it over and it becomes 5 over 2. And actually I need to make it a negative because negative times a negative is a positive. I need my a to be positive. So over here I'm going to change it to 5 over 2. It doesn't change the sign. The question was, does it change the sign? No, because right now we're just trying to multiply. We're just finding the answer to the equation. Because now these cancel out, and I get a equals, oh, I keep forgetting the negative right here. So you're going to take this as over 1. So 12 times 5, what is that, 60? So I have negative 60 over 2, negative 30. You can also go in your calculator just make this an x right here. You can also go and put the left-hand side into y1, the right-hand side into y2. You can press second graph and look in your table, or if you wanted to do the trace, you would do second, trace, 5 for the intersect, and enter 3 times. And that will take you to your answer. Number 12. All right, looking at number 12. It says, near Valentine's Day, a dozen roses cost 2.5 times as much as it does during the rest of the year. If a dozen roses cost $28 during the rest of the year, which equation can be used to calculate the cost near Valentine's Day? It said, okay, so a dozen roses, so let's see, a dozen costs $28. And it says that it costs 2.5 times as much. So basically, we're going to take 2.5, 2.5 times 28. That shows you how much it would cost at Valentine's Day. Number 13, it says, write what relationship is shown between these values in tables below. Now, I'll tell you right now, when it's written like this, I have a hard time doing delta y and delta x. But I'm going to go and I'm going to change my table and move it this way. I've got x, then y. Let's see, 4 and 14. 5 and 17.5, 6 and 21. Okay, I'll leave it like this. Now, I'm going to do delta y. The change in y right here, 3.5. The change in y, 3.5. Delta x, it's going up by plus 1. Well, delta y over delta x, 3.5 over 1. So I've got 3.5, which goes all the way down here. And now I'm going to take it times the x number. Okay, so when we multiply, when you take, that's supposed to be 3.5. When you multiply 3.5 times 4, what do you get? My calculator's dead. You get 14? And so 3.5 times 5. So do I need to add or subtract anything here? No, it's like plus 0 if you wanted to write it. So my equation would be, oops, I've already got the y equals 3.5x. Now, what if I asked you, is this data linear? What does linear mean? It means it makes a straight line. And how can you tell from a table if it makes a straight line? Delta y over delta x is the same. So in this case, yes, it is linear. What does it mean when the constant is 0? It means it's proportional. When it's proportional, it means the constant is 0. It means that it's linear. It has a constant of 0. Number 14. A cylindrical can of Pringles, I can't even talk, Pringles has a lateral surface area of 156 pi centimeters squared. If the radius of the can is 6 centimeters, find the height using your formula chart. Well, first off, here's my cylinder. It says the radius right here is 6. Okay? And they want to know the height. Now, let's look at the formula chart and let's look and see what the formula is for lateral surface area. Okay, so the formula, first off, you go and look underneath surface area for a cylinder. And then you look where it says lateral. And under lateral, it says the cylinder is S equals 2 pi RH. Okay? So, 2 pi RH is going to equal 156 pi. Okay? We also know, that the radius right here, so I can put this in here as a 6. Okay? Oh, it looks like a B, doesn't it? Well, pi is 3.14, but we don't need it. Because it has it in terms of pi. It says 156 pi. So when it has a pi on both sides, it'd be like dividing by it. These two cancel each other out. So now all I have is, what's 2 times 6? 12H equals 156. I need to divide by 12. What is my height? 156 divided by 12. It is 13. Moving on to number 15. Kiora needs to get her brakes fixed, but cannot spend more than, okay, what does that mean? Can't go over. It's got to be less than or equal to $315. Her mechanic told her that the parts needed to fix her brakes would cost $176 and the labor would be an additional $42 an hour. Write an inequality to determine the hours the mechanic can work. I'll take $42 times the number of hours plus the parts, which is 176, and it's got to be less than or equal to 315. And all it wanted us to do was write the inequality. Number 16. The equations of the two lines are given. What are the coordinates of the point of intersection? So I'm trying to find the solution to my system of equations. Is this best set up for graphing, calculator, substitution, or linear combination? Linear combination. Because what? These two things are the same, but one of them needs to be negative. So I'm going to change the bottom. I'll multiply by negative right here. This right here becomes 2x plus y equals 10. This one, negative 2x minus 3y equals negative 6. Don't forget to do all of them. Now, my x's cancel out. 1 minus 3 is negative 2y equals 10 minus 6, 4. I'll divide by negative 2. Y equals negative 2. So I've got my y number, but I still need my x. Choose one of these two equations. Doesn't matter which. I'll choose the top one here and bring it down. 2x plus y equals 10. Okay, we just found y to be negative 2. So I'm going to bring that and put it right in here. So I have 2x plus negative 2 equals 10. Or you could write 2x minus 2. Because this changes right here to 2x minus 2 equals 10. Now we can solve. Add 2x, or I'm sorry, not 2x, add 2 to each side. 2x equals 12. Divide by 2. X equals 6. So my solution is 6, negative 2. That's my coordinates. Number 17. Try and do number 17 right now. On this one, on number 17. On the first day of the fall semester, 7 out of 10 students arrived at the school cafeteria, forgot to bring money for lunch. If 1,280 students use the cafeteria each day, about how many of them will forget to bring lunch money? Okay, so first off, let's see if yeah, there we go. First off, you have the amount that will forget over the total. Part over the total. 7 will forget out of 10. They want to know how many will forget out of 1,280. Now, some of the ways they've taught you guys how to do it is scale factor, where you figure out what this change is right here and you multiply it up here. I don't like doing it like this. When I set it up, I like doing cross multiply and divide. So I'm going to multiply these two numbers. So what is that? What's 1,280 times 7? 896. Wait, 8,960. Okay. And then you need to divide by this number. Divide by 10. Is that what? Like a bat and a ball. Oh, that's a bat, and this is like the ball right there. Yep. So now when you divide this, what do you get? 896. So it will be 896 students will forget. Number 18. It says, write the equation of a line that passes through the point 1, negative 2, and has a slope of 4. I already know my equation starts off y equals 4x. How do I know that? It says the slope is 4, remember, because it's y equals the slope times x plus or minus the y-intercept. The number one mistake is people will put 4x minus 2. You have to find the y-intercept, and one way to do that is to build a table and put in the point 1, negative 2. So the slope is 4. The slope goes first. Then you take it times the x. And what is 4 times 1? 4. What do you have to do to 4 to get to negative 2? Minus 6. That is plus or minus your y-intercept. That is your y-intercept. There's your equation. I promise you will see one of those on the EOCs again. You can turn your, those of you that are still here in class, go ahead and turn your papers over to the front and go back to the other ones. Let's do one. I'm sorry, I lied to my class. Let's do this. Let's do one other problem. Let's go in your extra room somewhere. Let's do this. Let's multiply this. Now, what we've done on the front side is a binomial times a binomial. This time we're doing a trinomial, a 3 times a 3. So when you go to do this, I'm going to draw this out, and I'm going to have it a 3 by a 3. I have x squared plus 3x plus 1. 2x squared minus x plus 7. Now go through and let's multiply. Like in this box right here, 2 times 1 is 2. I have 2x and 2x. How many x's do I have? I have 4. There's 2 and 2, so it's x to the 4th. The next box here, 1 times negative 1. Negative 1, but I have 2 x's and 1 x. How many x's do I have? X to the 3rd power. 1 times 7. 7 x squared. Right here, 3 times 2 is 6. How many x's are there? 3, so it's x to the 3rd. It is cubed. X to the 3rd is cubed. 3 times negative 1, negative 3. X times x, x squared. 3x times 7, 21x. Right here, 1 times 2x squared, 2x squared. 1 times negative 1x, negative 1x or negative x. 1 times 7, 7. Okay, now I filled in all these spots. Now, x to the 4th, there's only one of them, so it's 2x to the 4th. Now I'm going to put together my x cubes. 6 minus 1, that's plus 5x cubed. Then put together your x squareds. I have 7 minus 3, which is 4. And then 4 plus 2, so it's 6x squared. Then I have my x's. 21x minus 1x plus 20x. There's no other numbers by itself, so it's plus 7. Now, even when I go through, I check my answers to make sure I'm right. I put this whole thing up here into y1. I put all of this down here that I think is the answer into y2. I'll press second graph. And what am I trying to look at and see? if all of y1 is the same as all of y2. Okay, and that's how you know that you're correct.